So you can see what a challenge it is to get good lighting when you have your binder out. Look at that. So I have to kind of keep some of these lights angled up. So I'm doing the best I can, but it's at least going to avoid the glare, and this is about the best I can do. I do have some lights pointed this way, but those big ones are really a challenge. I'm going to share my Japanese phone cards today, my insane collection, because I am a huge fan of this stuff. Now I've got some stuff in binders right now, and I have quite a bit in these stacks because I was taking them out of other places, getting them sleeved up, kind of organizing them. And so I have a lot of these just sleeved in a stack right now, and some of them in binders, but there's going to be some reorganizing going on. So I'll just share with you, just in no particular order, some cards that are in my binder. Now, Japanese phone cards are such a fun collecting category. If you like video games, if you like anime, if you like collecting video games, if you're nostalgic for video game collectibles or anime collectibles, because so many different games and anime have representation in Japanese phone cards. You can call them sometimes like library cards, quo cards, which are like gift certificates, and there's a lot out there. There's some stuff on eBay, but a lot of these, like let's take this Nights in the Dreams one, you're kind of looking for on Yahoo Japan auctions. So I use JAUCE, J-A-U-C-E. It's like a middleman site, English middleman site, to get a lot of stuff from Yahoo Japan auctions. So right here we got Legend of Dragoon. Some of these are really, really hard to find. This Saturn fan one is a really good example of that. This Lunar 2, I guess, or it says Lunar Silver Star Story. This is from a Saturn fan magazine, and I don't remember how much I paid for a lot of these, but like this is one that I just don't ever see. I think I've seen one other one. There might be one sitting right now that is kind of up there in price. I don't really remember. I think I've seen it twice, and one time I got it. Some of these you see quite often. You see more often than others, but a lot of them, again, I'll pick them up, and then I won't see them again, ever, or maybe just rarely. So we got some Tenchi Muyo ones here. By the way, here's some of these Tenchi Muyo limited out of 3,000 gold cards you can get from the OVA DVD series. Something to look out for. Really cool card. But yeah, I got Mario, Zelda, Evangelion, Sonic the Hedgehog. Some of this stuff I don't know what it is, but I just kind of picked it up. Like a lot of this is cheap on Yahoo Japan auctions, and some of it isn't. Some of it is pretty pricey, or at least is listed, and it's like I don't know what this is again, but it's something I just kind of picked up. A lot of times I'll just pick up stuff, just a handful of items that I just like. A lot of game stuff. I'll kind of discover games and anime and different things through phone cards, just kind of doing keyword searches and searching anime phone cards, video game phone cards, that kind of thing. Phantasy Star Online, another good example of just a game that I'm so nostalgic for, that I grew up with. And there are quite a few different. These are called Quo. So I believe that Quo cards, the Q-U-O, are like gift cards. They're not telephone cards, like, phone minutes, that kind of thing. They are more for, like, you can use them at stores and such, but they're shaped the same way. And I'll show you, and they have, so you know how to sort of orient them, especially if they've got a horizontal landscape orientation. They've got these two little divots on the bottom here, and I'll take this one out to show you. So this says Quo 500, I guess, yen, or whatever that means, points, I'm not sure. I collect a lot of Sega phone cards, Quo cards, and what have you. There's like library cards you can get, kind of, that are also shaped like this, that I guess you can scan for libraries and whatnot. So this one has one little divot here. So I guess the Quo cards have the one little divot here at the bottom. And then let's take this Burning Rangers one. Let's see. This is interesting. So yeah, so this one is a phone card because it has two divots. I guess that's the main difference there, and they all pretty much look alike to me on the back. I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what it says back there, but I do a lot of searches just for Sega, especially because I grew up with Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast. I did not have a Sega Genesis, but I'd go to my cousin's house and play hers, and I'd play Sonic the Hedgehog 1. So we got Sailor Moon, Mega Man, Final Fantasy. Here's the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle ones, Dead or Alive. These seem pretty rare, these Dragon magazine ones that have Evangelion, Tenchi Muyo on them. Ryoko there. Got these Tronbon ones, roll. So those are the ones in my binder. Now let's look at the ones that I've taken out of other binders and have been basically sleeving them, trying to organize them. I'm just going to run through this stack. So you might have seen this on my Instagram. My Saturn fan members card. Have not found another one of these. This is really, really cool item. This is a little bit different. It's actually like got information boxes here to fill out. And Saturn fan was some kind of Japanese Sega Saturn fan magazine. Nadia of the Sea. I spent like $1,800 or something like that on this one. There's another one listed, I think I would guess from the same seller for the same price. And I don't know how many they have, but this is just a cool one because it's Nadia, but it's like in this tennis outfit. Nadia and, I forget off the top of my head, the character from Evangelion. Then I found the Zelda manga. I love these Eternal Arcadia ones. I try to get duplicates of these if I can find them. They come up pretty sparsely. There are a few listed up on eBay that's no one's biting, and I think there's an employee from Sega that was on there. They did these like employee cards. And that's something to mention too. Like there's not a lot of people really going after these, I don't think. Here's another one of those Dragon magazines with Evangelion on there. And these, I want to say I paid quite a bit for, maybe in the hundreds. Not exactly, I don't really remember, but oh look, so it turns out I do have a second one of these Saturn fan member cards. Cool. So they're out of order, so who knows what I'm going to come across. I haven't looked through this stack in a while. But a lot of these Evangelion, Tenshin Muyo ones are really cool. The Dragon magazine ones seem to be kind of maybe sought after because they're kind of expensive when you see them. This is neat. This is Can Bunny. This is, I believe, a kind of adult like anime. And I kind of came across this series just looking for this stuff. And this one's serialized. So they have these serialized phone cards, which is really neat. I'm actually going to bring my light down a little bit. Now I'm not getting that glare. So I can get a little bit more light on there. I think that's better. Again, I don't remember the name of this game that this comes from. But I'll just search things like Sega phone cards, Sega, Quo cards, or different things like that. This is another, so Blue Breaker is one of those games that I came across searching this stuff. So we've got a serialized one here. This is 077. And a lot of these are old. I assume they're not really making these anymore, right? Because no one uses phone cards. A lot of these say not for sale on them. Like they were found in magazines as freebies that you would get with a magazine. Those magazines that came in the plastic bag. This is another kind of like adult video game. Some kind of romance, visual novel or something. Saturn fan. So again, I look for a lot of Sega stuff. I loved Grandia 2 growing up. This was an awesome game to be very nostalgic for this. And there are quite a few Grandia 2 phone cards. This is one, like, if you search Grandia cards or Grandia phone cards, you kind of see a whole bunch. Like, they made a big variety of different Grandia 2 cards. And I don't know how rare some of them are. It's kind of hard to figure out how rare some of them are compared to others. Because, like I was saying before, there's just not, I think, a lot of market interest in this. Like, I'm really big into these things. And you can see I've been buying these up. I'll take a day. Sometimes I just feel like buying up some phone cards. This is one, a lot of times I'll buy ones that are not really that expensive or don't seem like they're that expensive, but they're the only ones on the market and I don't see them again, like ever. This is one of those. I don't know what game this is. Some kind of Sega Saturn game, Victor JVC. And that it's just like I saw it one time, and I do follow the market pretty well, so I know which ones I can kind of like. This is a pretty common Phantasy Star one, it seems. Zero, the Phantasy Star Zero one, this one in particular, not very expensive. It doesn't seem like. And you run into it, so I'm not in a hurry to pick these up all the time. But then I saw this one, and it popped up, and I don't know how much I paid for, maybe like $50 or something. And I just remember being like, I haven't seen this one before. And I haven't seen it since. I mean, maybe I could do some searching for it. It'll probably have popped up maybe as soon as I publish a video about it, then it does pop up. I love these Lunar 2 ones, Lunar 2, really nice ones. So like this one seems to be a pretty common one, I think. I've got 2 of these. And some of these like Lunar, I feel like maybe there are more of them out there because it's such a big game like with the Grandia ones. But again, it's hard to know because there's just not market interest in this stuff. And so the market's not efficient. And you have to be careful because you'll see some of these cards listed for a really high price, and then you'll keep searching through the pages, and it's like, oh, there's that card again, but it's actually like $10, versus that one that was listed for a lot more. So you have to be really, really careful and kind of follow the market. And I've been following this stuff for, I want to say, a couple years, this category. And Marionette Company, this is a cool one I came across. Some kind of like visual novel romance where like all these girls are androids. The art is really wild with these. And a lot of them, they do come, if you look at the dates on them, they're like all from like 1990s, 99, 2000, you know, that Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast kind of, I would call it like a golden era kind of nostalgic gaming for me. Roommate is an interesting game I came across. Apparently it's a series. No, there are a lot of these like visual novel romance games. And I think that one's kind of cool. I don't think like there's a ton of these ones out there. It's hard to say, but the Eternal Arcadia ones are kind of hard to come by. It's Skies of Arcadia here. I loved that game growing up. So you can see I got a few of these here. And that's, yeah, quite a few. Look at that Clockwork Knight. That's another one that I just do not see very often. Clockwork Knight, kind of a underfollowed game, I guess. Kind of a sleeper, I would suppose. And then these are some ones that I've had. These are the way they package them. These are not cardboard. These are like a plastic. I see on the JOS, Yahoo Japan Auctions English translation, you see the word vinyl a lot. I don't know if that is just a translation for plastic or what. They are not cardboard. They are pretty resilient, but they can be scratched. You can scratch them. They can get dirt and stains on them and things like that. They can be sun faded. And here are the ones that I got. They do have these little sleeves that fit them perfectly, but I just put them in trading card sleeves, standard penny sleeves that I use for other trading cards. I can't read what that is. I'm not sure. I don't know what game this is. There's another one to put in a sleeve, add to the collection. And this is really cool. This is a serialized Star Ocean, second story one. Whoa, that's neat. So here, this one is 1,407. All right, cool. I don't know how many of these they made, but that's pretty awesome. I feel like this is one I've seen a lot of too. Like if you look up Star Ocean phone cards, you can see a few of them, but I just love the art on that. I mean, all that art from that era, the video game and anime art, you know, it takes me back. It's very nostalgic, and that's why I really enjoy these kinds of cards. Now, I know I think I've got a lot more of these, at least a few of them, and I've got a lot of boxes that I just haven't even opened of shipments from Japan. So, you know, it's an ongoing thing, adding to my collection, getting it organized, but it's a great category. I recommend checking it out. Go look for this stuff over at Yahoo Japan Auctions or also on eBay. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon.